What is happening, budget builders, and welcome back to the Dodge W100 Rescue. This is a 1974 Power Wagon that we pulled out of the woods where it had been since 1983. This thing was grown in here, and in fact, the spot we pulled it out of was a field when this thing was parked. That's how long it was sitting. And as you can see, with that time, the trees had grown in. This thing is super dented up from being logging and stuff over the years. And in our last video, we got this thing running. We got it moving. But in today's video, we're gonna dial it in. We're gonna pull the wheels, build the brakes, get some fresh tires on this thing, maybe work on a dent or two, put it back on the road, and attempt to take it trailing. It's been a minute since I've dug into a front four-wheel drive drum brakes. Let's see if we can make this happen. Now we've got a little clip ring up on the inside here, and we've got a C-clip on the inside here. Now we see a lock nut, and it uses this crazy funky socket, at least on this Dana 44. Behind that is supposed to be a washer, I think, and there's not one. Oh, there it is. Check, but I believe that washer right there goes in between those nuts. No way. I think it's actually going. Most of the time you just pry these off until you break springs and stuff. Wow. Ah, you've gotta be kidding. No. So this is, you see a lot of red clay. This was, these came down from middle of South Carolina. And so you can see foothills, more of a sandy clay, mud dauber. Man, they get in everything. I'm sure this wheel cylinder is roached. That's why we do it. These things are only $10 to $15 a piece. With the wheel cylinder, this backing plate really needs to come off anyways. It's so tight back here, it'd be so much easier to do. And this hose, we're just gonna cut. I always do new hoses. Look at that thing, just about rusted up solid. They have liners in here, and even if the hoses look good, those don't. Just disintegrating in my hand, they're normally rusted shut. Man, that's so much easier. Ew. This thing was sealed up pretty nice. The shoes look good. They're not too crusty. All the springs look nice. All the hardware's good. But just like that other side, that wheel cylinder is beyond saving. While we're this far back, it's probably a good time to jiggle that out. Check these inner bearings, which look perfect. Wipe them down a bit and add some fresh grease. It's always a good idea to get in here and grease your ride points. This will help with wear and also help keep your brakes from squeaking. Notice you have two different sizes. Something to always remember is BB, big back. The larger or longer one goes in the back. Great time when we have these off to take care cleaning and repacking our bearings. As long as this thing has been sitting, this grease is old and gross. Bearing is in excellent shape. Yes, go ahead please, Dad. Oh yeah, rear's clear. Oh yeah, sweet. We ended up having to replace literally every single brake line underneath this thing. Just disintegrating when you touch it. Other than the two that drop from the master cylinder down to the proportioning valve. Blew those clear, everything was pretty smooth there. A little bit time consuming, but it's better to be safe than sorry. You don't always have to go, but you always have to stop, especially in something like this. Let's get some brake fluid, start pumping this thing up, see if we can get these brakes to work. See if we get these brakes to work. Go ahead, please, Dad. Hold on just a second. I'm gonna pull this. I don't like the way this thing feels. Sheesh. They mushed it, over tightened it and mushed it down.
Like the blader?
Yeah. You ready?
Yep.
Wow, it works. Oh yeah, and again please. That's nice. Looking great. Beautiful, pump it up. Let off and hit. I like it. That's better feel, Dad. Good. Nice. Should be really nice with power brakes.
Yeah, we probably.
If they work. What?
I said we probably won't have them.
Come to the realization people want too much bloody money for old dry rotted all-terrain or mud terrain 15-inch tires. We happen to have a couple lightly used, fairly old, not super dry, Mastercraft Corsair MXT 35 by 12.5 15s. And then for less than what we would have bought a full set of old used tires for, we just bought a couple matching new ones. And these were off of a burnt Jeep. Of course it was burnt, that we had quite a few years ago. I think this will be kind of neat, a little bit bigger than what we had on there, obviously. I think it's gonna give it a good 80s stance and look. And I'm ready to get them thrown on there, see what they look like. And then we'll, once we get them on, we'll do a little bit of chrome cleanup and hopefully make them look pretty decent. Golly, it's a lot of tar. That has no business being that good. Golly! While under the truck still, before we really drive this thing, we need to check the rear differential here, the transfer case, and the front differential for moisture specifically, because that will burn these things up really quick, and we don't want to do that. I don't see any rust. It's low. Oh, look at that. That is beautiful. You can tell it's probably a low mile unit. Definitely could use a change, and I'd like to service it, but we can at least top it off for now. That'll be good enough for a first drive and trail. Oh, excuse me. No moisture, and it is nice and full still, but it definitely will need a service here in the near future. Not too bad at all. still nice. And wow, that's crazy. Those are some pretty good sealed units. It would be silly to not go ahead and hit all of these grease zerks. I know this stuff's going to be serviced anyways. It feels tight. Hopefully we can make it last at least a little while with some grease. Oh yeah. With these on, and with it being a little bit warmer in the day now that our hose is thawed, let's clean these wheels up at least a little bit, make them look a bit better on here. And what we'll do with most of this chrome is get in here with a copper Brilla pad. I like this because it really cleans this stuff up and doesn't scratch your chrome. Kind of gnarly right here. We're gonna have to get in here with the wire wheel and the drill. It's gonna scratch it a bit. This thing's gonna be trailing anyway, so it's not a huge deal. By no means perfect, but that crusty old wheel looks a lot better, and they look pretty good on this old truck. Now that we've got wheels and tires on here, I would hate to take this thing cutting trails and put scratches and dents in it. And it'd look a lot better with a front bumper anyways. Well, shopping, Dad? Huh? We bought a parts truck that you'll see here in just a minute, and it had a shopping cart in it. For some reason, Dodge bumpers are not inexpensive. I did find one locally. It was a spray painted black, late first gen, and they wanted $150 for it. If we had one, I'd put it on here. But we do have something. A Ford bumper. And that's a really good fit. It needs a little cleanup. It's a little warbly, which I don't think will be an issue on this truck. And we don't have to go spending $150 for a painted bumper. Just a little bit of chrome on there looks somewhat better. And I do like the styling and the curve of this bumper a little bit better anyways. This should kind of get us started. Just a little sketchy in here, but it's on there, and please don't be mad at me. I know some Dodge guys are gonna be angry, but it actually fits nice, and we get a little bit more protection when we're out pushing some trails around. That should protect it a bit. We pulled this off of a parts truck we had. Should be yours. And I do think this is going to kind of tie everything together. Not terrible for a crusty old bumper. And I know some people won't like it. What's nice is with the brackets we made, no modifications to the truck frame itself. This can be unbolted and always swapped out. But it fits the part. We've got a little bit of added protection there where this thing obviously had issues anyways. We got to do a little something to that brush guard.
A little wonky.
No, it looks too modern. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's so much better. Oh my goodness, and way heavier. That's pretty cool. And to think, yesterday at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we had no idea this was gonna happen. We ended up with that truck, which it's already gone. So we got a free brush guard. And this expanded metal we've had for a really, really long time. I'm glad to use it. Some really cool old stuff. And then the bumper. Everything just kind of played out and worked out, and I kind of like the way this thing's coming together. We're ready to roll, but I think it's a good time to do just a little bit of body work. I've got our professional PDR kit here. This is called the Franklin. Let's see if it'll push some of these dents out.
Looking at it blowing all around. Okay, wait. A little more.
Yeah. Bed truly did surprise far from perfect, but for what it was, it's a whole lot better. And if we actually spent some time with like a professional PDR kit, or just got a professional PDR to do it, it could probably look pretty good. Now the door, I'm afraid the only way we can do the door is actually split it open from the inside. It's a lot better, and it works now. It's not great, but it's getting there. And then our fenders, are gonna just have to come completely off to really rework them, but I think we can do them pretty good. Do a little repair work down in the bottom and make them look pretty nice. I want to replace the vacuum line for the Advance here. It is in pretty poor shape. The Advance actually holds vacuum, so that is good. One thing while I'm in here, I'm thinking about it, I want to mention, this thing definitely needs a 4-barrel. You know, it's probably got an original timing gear that's nylon on it, which we don't want to take a chance of giving us issues. If you guys want to see it, should we yank this engine out of here, blow it completely apart, throw a little cam in it, a 4-barrel, a new timing set, take care of anything service-wise that we need to while we're in there, freshen it up, make it look pretty good, and get it back in here running better than ever. If you want to see that, let us know down there in the comment section. But I think it's time to see if this thing will actually drive. Well, I lied. Oh, you just threw it right in there. This thing is puking oil. It's coming from the oil filter? It's swollen, like it's about to explode. It's popped all the things out. It's not the filter at all.
Oh no?
Nope, it's got a gasket behind it. This oil filter's about to pop too. Same thing, it's actually blowing out of whatever the base is in there. We got a clog or something. Okay, Dad stopped on the way home last night, checked a new oil filter, and sure enough, both of our oil filters have blown up. So what that means is our pressure relief in the oil pump has failed. It is stuck, something's going on there. The oil system in this thing looks pretty good. It's pretty clean. It's not, doesn't appear to be super gunky or trashy. So I think that is just something due to, well, this thing sitting for so long. But that also means we've got to drop the oil pan. We've got to change that oil pump, and we have to pull the oil filter adapter, replace that gasket since it's blown out now, before we can drive this thing or take it on a trail. A bit aggravating. I think we were ready to hit the road in this thing, but I'm glad it didn't do it while we were going down the road or we're off on a trail somewhere. So that is something to look up to, I guess. Let's get this oil pan dropped. Ha 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 ha. Oh, making a mess. You can see the crank looks super nice. Just a little bit of sludge buildup from sitting for so long, as to be expected, but look at the cross hatching. Wow. Oh wow, that's not bad at all. Yeah, look, never been gooped up or anything. That was original gaskets. Pickup screen cleaned up pretty nicely. Nothing major in there. There was a good bit of that old original front gasket there had crumbled up and was down in here, but otherwise, no other foreign materials that we need to be worried about. I'm going to put just a little bit of oil RTV here. I wanted a good few threads back just so we don't take a chance of it getting in the oil pump. And we'll thread it in until it's nice and tight. And it should be showing about the same amount of threads. I took a picture as when it was in the other one.
Super clean up in there.
Let's just hope this takes care of the problem. I want to turn it over first with no ignition, let that oil pump get some prime on it before we try to fire it off. Go ahead.
Starting to build.
That exhaust is so terrible. No oil filter expansion. No leaking. How's your pressure?
About 30.
Sweet. That gauge is a little slow, but woo! Fixed our issue. It acts like we've got some valves still kind of sticking a little bit. It might be some old carbon buildup that is rustified, as you would say, and breaking loose in there. I like to take some power tune. You can even use some ATF, but you want to get it down in here and keep it running. And we'll try to use most of this can. It should help free up any of that carbon buildup junk, our rings, anything in our combustion chambers, make this thing run a bit better. Most of the running is that exhaust, of course. The exhaust is horrendous on this thing, but I think this will help it out a little bit. I just want to take a quick second to thank you all so much for the incredible year we had last year. We had so much fun, and we're so glad so many of you decided to come along with us during that. Now, going into this year, I've got our list here. We obviously have some big projects that need to get buttoned up. So over this this month and the coming month, you'll see some of these things get wrapped up. We have some really big updates coming. So you can see here on our to-do list, there's a bunch of parts and stuff we have to get. Finish the GMC motorhome is top on that list. We have everything here for it now. We're waiting on some back order stuff. Everything is here and we can get that thing done and dialed in. And then just after that, we have the 64 Buick Electra. We've actually done a lot while it's been cold. Most of the interior is basically finished up. All the dash is done. The hood finally came in, and we can paint that front end and get that car completely done. But everything is here to get it knocked out. And then I know we've been kind of putting it off, and I hate it's kind of got set to the side, but the 911 here, if you can kind of see it a little bit, it's done. I really need to get an alignment done, and then one of the injectors has started weeping, so we need to do that. And we know that because we've been driving. We drove it a good bit this year. We actually took it down to Helen for a show. We drove it around through the mountains and had a ton of fun with this car. And I can't wait to show a good completion video, some really fun drive time, and a build cost breakdown for that car here in the short future. Get the turbo on the Duster. finish up the Firebird. We're blowing that car apart and we're gonna restore it. It's time to do another good restoration, sand it down, and a good paint job. And then you've probably seen it in some of the videos. I've seen some people asking about it, the W113 Mercedes Pagoda. We're gonna start on that car, and it's gonna be our next major rebuild like this car. I think that'll be pretty fun. It'll be a cool one to have here with the 911. Something finally came through, the electric Rabbit. We finally figured out a way to dial that car in and get it back on the road once and for all so we can use it and enjoy it. Do something with the Renault 4CV. The Comet GT is hitting the drag strip, and we're gonna tear down the 55 Chevy to start its rebuild. There's obviously a lot more as well, but I can't wait for those and I can't wait to share them with you all. We have had a few people asking about merchandise. I just want to mention our website is up. We have some stuff on there. This is our first little stab at this stuff. I don't really want to push it on anybody. So if you would like to support us, feel free to. If not, we totally understand, but it's on there. We have some shirts and stickers and decals and have some more stuff coming soon.
Oh, does this not work? It works.
Hey, we got brakes. Go to neutral. We need to be, I don't know what's what anymore. Too high. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see.
That's okay. You can see my shoulder. You're good.
Scoot over. Got a whole big old truck here. We got reverse. Oh, it feels better already. Can't see. Ugh. Exhaust is horrible. The carb is pitiful. This thing runs horrible. Third gear. Thing runs like garbage. My. Oh my God. Golly, this thing's a horse and buggy. Maybe we're in 4 high now. This thing's running like a sewing machine. A really broken sewing machine. It runs, it drives, not very well. I'm gonna check our firing order. We marked everything, so it's what it was, and then I wanna check our timing. It doesn't sound like we have any kind of major vacuum leaks. Okay, so we've got one. I know we've got one right there, yep. And the next to one going this direction should be 8, which it is.
So they were all right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, so that's all right. Our timing's way off. We'll get the timing light on it. Look. We've got the vacuum pod disconnected. Let's fire it up, and we're looking for, everything I'm seeing is around 12 for a baseline timing. Let's see where this thing is at. Go ahead, please. Cut it off. Give it a second, do it again.
It's completely off.
It changes. 0. Boom, 24. So I had a random thought and an idea. We had issues with this on MPI boat engines. That cap is super crusty. I wonder if it could be jumping fire to a different cylinder. That would make it run really bad. That would make us randomly jump potentially to another cylinder firing. Huh. I'm gonna check around and maybe we should throw a cap and even rotor in this thing and just see if that happens to make a little bit of difference. We've got a cap and a rotor on the way. I'm hoping it's not our ignition control module, and it could be, but that will be here in the morning. We're gonna go ahead and try this. Maybe we have some wires jumping around. Maybe, hopefully our cap's just jumping. And that would explain our issue there, or it's just issues in the engine. But we did find some wires. So while we're doing the cap and rotor, we're just gonna go ahead and knock these wires out. Look how bad that cap is.
Look in that one.
God.
That's what I said. That's what fell out.
It's gonna run like a brand new one now. I know it. I guarantee it. Go ahead, please, Dad. It was jumping in the cap. Dude. We got more cylinders now too. It's picking up. Look at that. We'll know here in just. It feels so much better. I can already tell. I'd say we got some engine work to do. It's actually really smooth now. Big exhaust leak right here before the muffler. Sounds pretty good. It's running too good to have a burnt valve. It'd be popping back. I mean, look, literally doesn't even have blow by. The engine sounds good, it sounds healthy. It's under acceleration where this thing's just a dog. Might be in that transmission. Do a drop test. Definitely dropped good there. Dropped good there. Can't get much better than that on a drop test. Okay, compression check time. Now we know this gauge reads low, so we'll expect, man, that's a beautiful, golly, that burn can't get prettier. This gauge reads low, so we'll probably see some lower numbers than we'd expect, but we're looking for evenness all the way across within a few percent. Go ahead, please, Dad. All right, 120, which is probably more like 150 on this wonderful gauge. Man, you just don't get much better of a burn. $120 on the dot. Pretty nice plug. All right. Just beautiful. All right. I don't think you get any better than that for that bank. Within a couple PSI of 120. Wow. One last one to tell us if we're healthy or not. We're advancing good. If this number's good, our engine sounds and seems to be pretty healthy. Beautiful plug. You don't get much better than that. I mean, there was a couple that were a couple PSI off, and that could just be due to fuel, because this thing's probably flooded out. But that's really not bad. Well, that makes me feel good, but we've got to figure out what's going on. I think this thing would trail nice, because it's running pretty good. It just might quite honestly be a drivetrain issue. Didn't I say something about putting a manual in this thing? Oh yeah, I did. Flowing really good out of this side. Nothing. Barely anything.
Loud? That's good to go. Light, I see no light.
It's got a clog.
It has to, because I covered up the hole.
Yeah, that's clogged. About the same. Well, it does drive. There's definitely some things we need to look into, and more than likely it's just that junk 2-barrel carburetor. I went through that thing, made sure every little tiny orifice was clean and clear, and it was. Everything looks good. This thing is running perfect. It's super smooth. Oil pressure's great. Getting super quiet, other than the exhaust is horrendous. That one side broke off. It's obnoxious. It needs some work, but I think that's something we'll kind of do all at the same time. With that being said, if you can't tell, it's coming down pretty good. It doesn't drive down the road super great. Actually, I really like this truck. This truck's fun. It feels good. It just doesn't have quite the power. And I'm thinking mainly in that carburetor. The timing advance seems super good and everything. It's sitting right where it's supposed to. We did install the new ignition module. Oh my goodness. Slap full of water. And it was junk. I don't even know how it was working. And then we installed the voltage regulator, and this thing's charging just like it should now. Running cool as a cucumber. And actually, I mean, this thing just... You don't get much better than that. Sounds like an old mud truck. Now, we're not going in the mud. Look how smooth this thing is. But the kids are coming down because it's snowing here at the shop. Let's throw this thing in 4-wheel drive. Let's hit some trails. That's what it was meant to do. You guys want to go play in the snow or what?
Yeah!
Let's go have some fun. Who wants to be my cameraman?
Me!
We'll take turns. We'll take turns.
Can't see anything right now, but they're gonna get cleaned off. Ooh, look. We're ready to go. Got snow on boots.
You ready?
Yeah. Is the snow tasty?
I wouldn't eat snow out of this thing.
No, face forward. Look,
Guys, there's snow on the road already.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, we are. Nope, we're going really, really, really slow, so we ain't gotta worry about all that. All right, let me get out and open the gate and lock the hubs. This is gonna be fun. We hadn't had snow in like 3 years, so they're pretty excited about a little bit of snow.
Excited? We're super excited. Let's pack it.
No problem.
Here.
No, sit your butt down.
I thought you said that I can wipe that.
You can wipe the little wing window, but you ain't wiping the windshield, not while we're driving.
Right here.
There you go.
Hello, tree. Ah! Bye, tree. Because you like being here.
Is this fun or what, guys?
Awesome! Woo!
This thing is running like a top and performing
White.
exactly like it should be. And to me, this is what it's all about. Out here in the woods. Well, I guess we're in the field. In the field, in the woods, down in the bottoms here. Truck's running. It's back on the road after all these years of performing just like it should. Pop-Pop's driving the rabbit around. As you can see, that truck still going. That's been my daily since we got that thing done. And such a fun little truck. But I think this one's gonna be a fun one to maybe keep around. But that's what it's all about. Rescuing these things, bringing them back to life, and enjoying them with your friends and family. I really hope you all have enjoyed this rescue to this point. There's a lot more that needs to be done to this truck. We did a little bit of body working. You could spend weeks body working this truck, but it's driving and it's trailing and it's a fun old rig. And if you are enjoying and you haven't already, be sure to subscribe button, notification bell to keep up with our future uploads and to keep up with all our other future rescues and rebuilds. We have some really fun ones coming this year, and of course finishing up some of our previous ones. If you have been a part of the channel, we do appreciate it so incredibly much. I get to do this full time. Yeah, Bubba?
Can I get
in a minute. And I get to do this with my dad and kids because of each and every one of you. So thank you all so much. Peace out and catch you all on the flip side.